belonging and see how C&WJ makes your financial goals a reality. So tune in to Cliff Views Online this Friday, April 24th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stream this broadcast live on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live, or keep your station locked to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Community and Workers of Jamaica C&WJ Cooperative Credit Union.
Real Fabrics, I go give you plenty healthy ways to switch up your meals. Fresh flavor that we need. A new recipe every day of the week. And look how good me feel.
The time by Rainforest Caribbean is
7:01.
From love me life, me kill negativity, me reach the heights. No matter when them chat about me still rise. The strength of me soul is within me eyes. When them a try use me use me mind. Fi fight the fight dark like the night with goals inside. Look at me now. Higher elevation we unlock. Kick off the gate, bust the padlock. True when them talk, we don't care when we firm. And we now wear the stress when we under. In my life, me a stay firm and strong. That don't mean me no have problems. That no mean people never do me wrong. Me hold my drive.
Good evening, everybody. It's that time. Welcome to the comments section. I'm Mahiri,
And I'm Shaloy.
and there is no program on Nationwide 90 FM firmer or stronger
Than this one.
than this one. Comment section, and that's Bounty Killer, firm and strong.
Yeah.
Starting off our show today. More on that later, yeah? More on that later. We're gonna get to it as always, but you know how we start things off here.
Public opinion.
Public opinion.
No, it's been a sad week.
Very. Every single pub up.
Yes,
Well,
our pub-ups have
bar
been-
yesterday.
But yes.
Bar yesterday, we've had some
Yeah.
madness reacting to, and today is no different, yeah?
It's no different. No, there was a fatal shooting of a woman at the Montego Bay New Testament Church of God on Wednesday. The deceased has been identified as 38-year-old Cora Thompson. The shooting took place sometime after 3 p.m. as Thompson stood at the church doors. And so in public opinion this evening we're asking, what's your reaction to the murder of a woman during a church service?
Indeed, man. A lot's
No
going
snippets
on.
of it, yeah. Because we saw, well, we didn't see the actual shooting, but we, based on the snippet that we saw, we would have heard the shots.
And that snippet came from a live stream.
Yeah.
The service in which this had taken place was being streamed on YouTube. I doubt it's still up now, given what took place.
Yeah.
But, and again, that's what happened the last time we had an incident similar to this one.
In
It was
Trelawney.
also being streamed on.
Was it Trelawney? I think it was Trelawney.
It was Trelawney,
Yeah.
yes. And that one was very chilling. That was
Yes.
that was before I even became a journalist.
That was
I
during
remember just-
COVID.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was
I
during
don't
COVID times.
remember it that well, but I certainly remember.
I think
You
it
know.
was during COVID when, we had the limit in churches and
Social
schools.
distancing,
Right. And
right.
so for those who couldn't come in person, they had the opportunity to see it online.
Well, let's take a look at what the folks are saying in the comments. The first comment we have on Facebook comes from JJ Mack, who says, shows more the reason why we need to support the police and allow them to do their work.
Deanna Mitchell says we need more licensed firearms power in the street. Those shots weren't fired in any rush. How did they escape? Because they are the only one with guns there at that moment.
Shirley Augustine says, just one of those days. And Melbu says, nowhere no safe.
Audley Phillip agreed with Melbu. Audley Phillip says nowhere is safe, not even in the sacred and hallowed places of God. Like we need security guards even during worship. It's a sad truth.
David Lawrence says, we are living in a perilous time nowadays. People have no respect for anyone's lives.
Audrey Bryan says dark days. Hearts get desperately wicked.
And rounding out Facebook, Kaylee Hyman says, nothing new. People have no love.
And Marcia J. Vassal says, this was planned. No accident. Nowhere is safe.
All right, so before we get to the IG, I guess we talk about what we saw in the Facebook comments. And yeah, that's an interesting point in terms of... But the thing is, who's gonna go to church strapped?
Yeah.
No one would go to church. Well, unless you're a person who has ops. No, but for real, like, I mean, if you are a person, whether a high-ranking member of society who you know will need constant security, like the prime minister needing bodyguards around him all the time, yeah, you probably go to church strapped. But these persons being killed at church aren't those persons. They're regular people.
It's just... It's like I have no words at this point.
Yeah, I mean...
From Monday to Tuesday to now, it's just one thing after another. And to know that, you know, as someone in the comments said, you're on hallowed grounds, you're looking on to, you know, worship, and then this happens.
And yeah, I guess, I don't know if persons choose these moments because it's when their target is most vulnerable, and they see it as an easy way to get the job done as opposed to going to their house, or they may get caught. I don't know what the strategy behind all of this is, but it didn't work for the last murder, did it? Because both the shooter and the getaway driver were sentenced in that case.
Yes, they were subsequently
and
sentenced.
Hopefully the same thing happens in this one. If we go over to Instagram, that's our next social media platform. Anika Morgan kicks us off saying, all I can say is we are not safe anywhere we go. My God, man, in a church?
One Mr. Dyer says, we live in a wicked generation who doesn't fear God, or what can we say? It's expected of people to be evil, so all we do just look up and go and prepare with soul. Condolences to the family, though.
Noxley says, my reaction as a youth and young adult pastor, this crosses a line that should never be crossed. A church is supposed to be a place of refuge, prayer, and safety, and when violence enters that space, it sends a chilling message that nowhere feels sacred anymore. It reflects not just a crime, but a deeper societal issue where conflict, anger, or criminal behavior is no longer restrained by boundaries, even spiritual ones. It also raises questions such as what's driving the level of boldness in crime, why are conflicts escalating to deadly outcomes so easily, and how do we protect spaces that are meant to bring healing? At the end of the day, a life was lost in a place meant for worship and safe refuge. That's not just tragic, it's unacceptable.
Marshall Malik Joel says, it's unacceptable, unjust, and unreasonable. The perpetrators should be caught and brought to justice. Unfair for all.
And Trey Treble Room says, quite a barbaric situation. Unveil the truth and realize that churchgoers, especially pastors, are using the Lord's name to commit atrocities. Well, I tell you what, man. I guess we can juxtapose this extreme situation with the other extreme situations we've seen this week. This has been quite the, as we said earlier, it's been quite the week, man. I mean, we started off with the JC video, and then that same day we had the C4th fatal incident. Today we have this, and outside of just this, we have the incident in Ocho Rios. A young girl was assaulted by other young girls on a school bus. We had the children caught with weapons at school. What you doing bringing a machete to school?
And knives.
And machete and knives to school? And it's an interesting situation, you know, because for the hundreds of schools out there, when you compare it to the small amount that we're seeing, if you look at it from that lens, it's probably not that crazy. But when you zero in on each of these situations, you just have to think like, yes, it's only 5 out of the hundreds of schools, but that's still it's the extremity, you know, because it's one thing if two children just have a fight, you know, that's something that happens. It's a disagreement. It's still wrong, but it's not abnormal. But the things I've seen this week are abnormal,
and it goes to the social decay,
right?
You know, because when you look, because I remember when I was younger, and let's not even talk about the fighting and the taking weapons to school, because that was totally out of the question. But when you come on to church,
right,
even adults then, when I was a child, you know, certain, if they're playing music and driving and it's loud, then turn it down. It's just those simple things.
Yeah.
That respect, it's like it's gone.
Yeah, and again, I read it earlier. Someone was saying it's a lack of fear,
Yeah.
and that ties into the school incidents too, because the thought of bringing so much as a phone to school back in my day was something I'd afraid of. Why?
Yeah.
Because of the punishment I would receive for doing that thing, and the fact that I'd lose the phone and get a detention and I'd call my mother and all them something. That was enough to persuade me to not break school rules, and those are simple school rules, not the extent of what we're seeing here. And mind you, I think the scarier part is that what we've seen so far is what we've been able to see because of the fact
Social
that they
media.
were captured.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder what
else
about the
is
incidents out there that weren't captured, that the authority figures in these spaces don't know about, and the victim and the perpetrator just go on like nothing took place and there's no accountability.
Let me see what's happening on our YouTube. A news commentator JA says, I have concluded long time that many Jamaicans have zero regard for God and the church grounds, so it doesn't surprise me anymore. That's a sad reality which I have accepted, and I drop my guard nowhere.
And that's another thing, and what I guess you can also juxtapose this with the fact that murders are down,
Yeah.
So you think we're in a time right now where persons would be a bit more willing to drop their guard, quote unquote, because the tendency that you're used to of murders surpassing 1,000 a year have gone down, which in theory implies there's a safer society because less people are being killed. But then you have instances like this, not just the instance of a murder, but the manner and setting of said murder that makes you take a step
Question it.
back. And granted, these are isolated situations. So, things like this happen for a reason. I believe the prior one that we were referencing earlier that happened back in COVID times was over, dead left? Things like that. So it's things like those that cause this, as opposed to somebody just waking up and saying, you know something, I'm going to go commit an act of violence, an act of terrorism. And
it goes right back to the conflict resolution.
Because the mere fact that you do this to somebody is because you have a conflict with them. And even in the news, again, let's go back. There's a man dead right now over what? Throwing water over a fence?
Yeah.
I read that today. Someone stabbed somebody fatally over throwing water over some fence that was like, what's going on, man? Are things really that deep? Is the real question, I guess.
David says they need to bring back the Bible and the whipping into school.
Well,
Alex Smith says, so in the days of Moses and Noah, so shall it be in the end, where a people full of hate, envy, greed, unkind, lack of love, shameless.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like, we do have devotions in school. We certainly don't have whipping, And that's another thing. I mean, what measure can you do to curb? And you can't even say curb. I don't think there's any one thing you can do to completely stop instances like this of violence in schools from taking place. It is just a flaw of humans for stuff like this to take place. But it's the extent to which you have to find a way to how do I say, detract it as best as possible. And there's never a complete detraction. That's why I say as best as possible, because you can never fully eradicate things like this because of just the folly that is human nature, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean you don't try. Yeah. Anyways, that's public opinion. We're going to take a quick break, and then we are going to find out what's cooking on the socials.
Need help or want to report damage? Visit supportjamaica.gov.jm to find nearby aid, updates, and emergency support all in one place. The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is
15 minutes after 7.
Power in great moments. If you have financial needs, Chris and Charles will fix them for you. Power in great moments since 1992. Oh, we have it all. Power in great moments. Relax, you got Chris and Charles. Oh, we have it all. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
If you've ever called in, shared your story, or got help on this show, then you're already family. Now make it official. Join the nationwide 90FM Family Club today on Patreon.
What's Cooking is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Limited, Jamaica's leading distributor of industrial automation and control solutions.
Welcome back to the comments section. I'm Shaloy.
And I'm Mahiri.
Mahiri, do we have something lighter to talk about on the
I would consider this light, yes.
Indeed.
All right, folks, so for the What's Cooking segment, dancehall veteran Bounty Killer. Well, we don't even have to say his real name. You all know him as Bounty Killer, yeah? He is set to receive the key to the city of Kingston and have a street renamed in his honor, following a resolution passed by the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, on April 20. That's earlier this week, no? Yeah, man. Was that Monday? Today is what, the 20th? Yeah, Monday. Yes. Right, so big up Bounty Killer, man. And what I want to do now, I'm looking it up. I want to get like the list of persons who've received the key to the city of Kingston. Because I think it goes without saying why somebody like Bounty Killer would get something like this. I mean, I've been a youngin to a not as youngin now.
So what would I say?
You're not that much older than me. We're both still young adults, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, from I was a little one to now.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. Ever since I was a wee lad, yeah, I've always heard about Bounty Killer. That's just one of them staples in local music, the local music fraternity. And what I'm trying to see now is just the list of persons who have gotten this. Because, okay, here we go. So notable recipients. Okay, now I'm starting to remember. So last year, you know,
YouTubers, let us know, by the way. Let us know your reaction in the YouTube comments. Go ahead,
we're going to read them. Who won it last year? Let me see if you remember, because when I tell you,
he's putting me on the spot. I don't.
When I tell you, you're gonna remember.
I don't remember.
It was CeCe Winans.
Oh yes.
Right.
Yes.
Remember she did the big old concert over
there.
Yes, yeah.
I remember.
CeCe Winans got it last year, and the year before, for popular sprinter all we know, female. Shelly and Fraser Price. I remember she got
her. Literally, you're quizzing me.
And she got the road. I remember the problem with the road, and I spell her name.
Wrong. I'm sure they get it right with Bounty's name.
Right, and before him, 2020.
Wait, before we move on, do you think they're gonna name? Did they say if they're gonna name it Bounty Killer or Rodney Price? Which of the names they'd use? Probably a Bounty Killer. Bounty Killer Drive.
Bounty Killer Drive.
Rodney Price.
That goes kind of hard.
Yeah, because I mean, that's what he's known as.
Yeah, I mean.
Bounty Killer Drive.
Yeah, that's how they did it with. Shelly Ann doesn't have a stage name, does she?
Bounty Killer Avenue.
But that goes hard. Yeah. Either Drive or Avenue, not street and not road. That sounds too basic.
Yeah.
When you be Bounty Killer Drive, that goes crazy.
Noxley says, "Congratulations, Bounty. I listened to some of his music."
All right, so if we keep going through the key to the city recipients, Machelle Montano got it in 2023. Soca artist, you received the first musical contribution during Independence Grand Gala.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Someone in the comments says Bounty's song is garbage.
Whoa, which one? You mean all of them? That could
never
be all of them.
All of them.
Could have never all of them. Are you gonna say the same thing when we get a Beanie Man Drive too? Maybe we already have one of those and I just don't know about it, you know. But we got some other ones here. In 2023, I'm seeing Bunny Wailer, Ernie Smith, Marcia Griffiths, Beres Hammond. They all get the key.
Deserving.
Not no bad. Tony and Singh.
Oh, she did?
Tony and Singh got the key to the city in 2020 for winning 2019 Miss World and recognized for bringing pride to the nation. That's cool.
That's cool. Over on YouTube, Carlene Smith says, Bounty is deserving. His philanthropic work and contributions to our music legacy are worth rewarding. A news commentator says he's the one who gave Wayne Marshall a shall too. I don't know if I understand that one day.
Well, here's another thing I didn't know. Apparently when Shelly Ann got it that year I mentioned earlier, it was the second time she ever got it. I didn't know you could get the key to the city twice.
Yes.
Shelly and Fraser got it 2 times.
M-Dub said it in the comments that Shelly got it twice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
2008.
M-Dub. Yeah.
And in 2008, it says here, the track star was among several athletes, including Usain Bolt and Veronica Campbell-Brown, who were handed the keys to the city by then Kingston's mayor, who?
What year?
2008.
Oh my gosh, Desmond McKenzie.
Desmond McKenzie, yes, the mayor's parlor. There we go.
Yeah.
See that continuity? Yeah, man.
I am Janine says, well-deserved bounty. Carlene Smith says, imagine the words killer on a drive. What happens later when it gets violent on that drive?
Right. And I'm still just going through the lore because I'm seeing here in 2009, they gave the key to the city posthumously to 2 former mayors, one of whom was Marie Atkinson. And guess who handed those over?
Same Desmond McKenzie?
No. Senator Desmond McKenzie.
Mahiri.
Yes, he was a senator in 2000. I mean, never know that. I didn't even know that Desmond did enter the Senate. Desmond, you didn't know that? He probably did.
Going through with the YouTube comments still, Alex Smith says, Bounty Killer Avenue or Bounty Killer Drive. He always stand up for poor people. Hate him or like him, he is a respectable artist.
Right. Just to clarify, the persons who received it in 2009 were former mayors Marie Atkins and Ryan Peralta Sr. Okay.
News commentator says it would be his real name.
Would it? What?
Rodney
I
Price.
guess so.
Rodney Price Drive.
Or it could just be Price Drive.
MJM says, I'm hoping they use his proper name.
What? But it wouldn't go as hard.
Yeah, but maybe someone in the comments mentioned it with the killer on the drive, like just the name of it.
What's his name?
Might have a little.
First of all, if you're
negativity
giving him key to the city with that the name there as is, it could never be a problem. You get me? Because you already acknowledged that the man named Bounty Killer and you're still giving him this award. So why you can't name the road after the person you're literally giving the award to with that name?
We're getting more comments saying use his real name, and that's coming from news commentator. So
but my question is, what you have to do to get key to the city? You think we're gonna get keys to you think I'm gonna get the key to is there a key to Mandeville? Mayor Mitchell? Can I get that? I haven't done anything yet, but like in the future. What you want? The key to what? What, Falmouth? Is there a key to Falmouth?
No, I'd probably St. Anne's be in a sense.
Sure.
Given that my vote would be in Southwest St. Anne.
But is your address in St. Anne or Trelawney?
It's on the border, okay? It's on the border.
So then get the 2 of them then, though.
Right?
Yeah, man.
Pull a Shellyan.
Yeah, man. Get the 2 key to the city one year. But I want to see that, though. If I had more time, I'd look it up. Like, I've always known about the key to the city thing when it comes to KSAMC. But is it a thing in other municipal corporations? I'd love to.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Go ask Desmond next time I see him, the local government. He would know better than anyone, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They're not cities. Did I get the key to the town? The key to the town of Mandeville? But then they'd have to
add that to your resume if it's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know what else I'd get? The road.
Mahiri Stewart Drive.
You telling me that doesn't sound great, man? And what? Shallow Michael Boulevard.
Oh. You clock that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That have a nice little ring to it, I like that.
Carlene Smith says, it's a problem, Mahiri. He's being given for his work, not the symbolism of his name.
Well, true. Noxie said, Mayor Mitchell, give Mahiri the key to man. Yeah, man. We can work something out, but I have to achieve something great first. Besides being a comment section co-host.
Oh my gosh. As you mentioned great, do you remember that Shakespeare quote from high school? Some were born great.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember it? Like, some were born great, some achieved greatness, and some had greatness thrust upon them. Which one are you?
Some were born... Repeat them again?
Some were born great. Some achieved greatness.
Right.
And some had greatness thrust upon them.
I could argue all three.
I say.
Because first of all, I had to be born great.
Right?
Because I'm a mother. My mother could have never born a cruff. Like no, sir. I had to be great just by virtue of that. And I
And
did
we have been achieving
We
it.
achieve greatness right now.
And
Wow.
greatness is being thrust upon us.
Yeah, Judge Davis, the one Judge Davis and Cliff Hughes thrust this great show upon us. And
Literally.
look at where we are now. So I think we've met the
Yeah.
criteria. And we forget what key to the
All
township.
three, yeah.
Yeah, man. So give it 3 keys. You can send them to 14 Ocean Boulevard. We'll pick them up from Odia downstairs, Mayors.
Yeah, take 2 pictures and
Yeah, man. Yeah,
and
man.
we that.
That's what's cooking on the socials, folks. We'll be right back with comment of the day.
What's Cooking was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Limited, Jamaica's leading distributor of industrial automation and control solutions.
This station raised me. It gave me a voice. And if Nationwide has ever meant something to you, come on in. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
It's time to end the comment section the way we always end comment section, with the comment of the day. And my comment of the day.
Noxley?
Yeah, man.
Because I see everything else.
I need to get the key to the township of Man. Listen, man. I'm sure there are persons out there that have done way more for Mandeville than me. But that don't mean.
You don't deserve it.
That don't mean I'm gonna deserve it as well.
You deserve it.
Yeah, man, give it to me when you give it to the other people then, man. Come on. You think of nothing for a country, you come work on Nationwide News. You think of nothing for come work on Nationwide News and Hot Kingston Sun?
A country youth.
As a trying country youth. Same thing for Shallow. You think of nothing for Shallow live Battersea. Up in a
God.
Trelawney and St. Anne to come down here for write the nation's news that y'all consume on a daily basis. I know,
Yeah.
is it something? Can't give you the little key and the little road, man.
It's not an easy road.
It is not well, my road will be my road not gonna be no hard road.
Indeed.
It's going to be one that is well paved and I need no spark. And I need no reach.
Oh, Lord. But thank you, as always, for joining us. Special thanks to our producer, Sonia Stewart, our technical engineer, Andrew Glenn Anderson. Our video editor of the day was Demar, and Akil for the music.
Indeed, man. Shout out Bounty Killer. Hope you get the one. We should be there.
We probably should.
We should go there when he gets the key,
Yeah.
man. Talk to him, see what he feels like. That'll be a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We'll see. Bounty Killer takes us out. See you tomorrow.
Strength of me soul is within me eyes. When them a try use me use me mind. Fi fight the fight dark like the night with goals inside. Look at me now. Higher elevation we unlock. Kick off the gate, bust the padlock. True when them talk, we don't care when we firm. And we now wear the stress when we under. In my life, we are still firm and strong. That don't mean me no.
Morning after morning, you've made Nationwide 90 FM part of your routine. So let's take this connection one step closer. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club and be part of it officially on